Sigmund Freud. Freud.
Everybody is.
Psychoanalysis.
You see, Freud. What's Freud?
Everybody is.
He governs psychology.
That's right. Freud. His whole ideology concerning man is only self. Then we have Darwin. Darwin say what? We coming out. Man is getting better. Man is evolving. But then, and that shape our identity. Now you're going to college to learn worldview in a UNI. TY? University. University. This word, university. What's the primary word in this word? Universe. No, what's the primary word in this word? Unity, right? And that speaks about what? One. So you're coming in a university to bring all worldviews to find what? The truth. But do you go to school now to learn the truth? No. When you go to school, what are you learning?
Sigmund Freud and Darwin.
You're learning about two ideas. You're learning about postmodernity and what? And scientific naturalism, relativism, where everything is shaped and formed behind one man's idea. Everything is done from the science lab. Who are most respected in universities? Mathematicians, scientists, right? Scientists. Because they are the one that wear the trousers. Anytime they have some kind of question to ask, who they asking? The scientists, right? Because they rule the mind. It's a radical form of cultural relativism. A radical form. And that is what the scientists, and that's the philosophical viewpoint behind what we call postmodernity. And postmodernity have its history. And what's the history of postmodernity? An intellectual movement to replace what? To replace the Enlightenment. An intellectual movement to replace the Enlightenment. The Enlightenment was with men like with John Locke and René Descartes, and these guys who came up with this beautiful Immanuel Kant. These guys are the men who actually solidify certain thinking so now we can apprehend life as it ought to be apprehended. However, what happened is that with the turn of the century, because of Nietzsche and all these men, Hegel, who killed God, look now to who? Themselves. They look to themselves for what? Meaning. And when you're looking for yourself for meaning, what you're going to find? You're going to find dysfunctionality. You're going to find dysfunctionality. And this, anytime you look within, that is what you're going to find. And that in itself is what is causing the ideas to be mixed up in our culture. So we here at Reason and Truth, and even as we equip ourselves, we are not equipping ourselves for ourselves. We're not coming here to learn for ourselves. If you think you're coming here to equip yourself, that's another thing. You're not coming here to equip you. My purpose here is not to equip you. My purpose here is to equip the person who you will meet, who you will influence. Think like that. You are to equip someone else. All that which you are receiving, give it to another. That's the word ahava. That's the noun. That's the noun. And a noun is the name of a person, animal, place, or thing. Now you need the ahava. Ahav is the what? The verb to actually do. To to function, to make this relationship what? Real with whomever. So now you all here have a what? A responsibility. So many different worldviews out there. What we believe here as Judeo-Christians in this time and in this culture, what we believe in.
Canon together.
We believe here doctrine, and you know, one of my mentors from a distance, Hank Hanegraaff, he made some beautiful essential memory key charts, you know, and you guys should get one. You know, you walk around with it, and you are able to share your faith, and from a primary focal point on what all Christians must believe. Hear what I'm saying? Must believe. All Judeo-Christian must believe. There isn't any type of compromise with this. No type of compromise. And it's all within the acronym doctrine. And what you have, doctrine, right? I think the first one. Right? This is what we believe in. Doctrine. Deity of Christ. The deity of Christ. And the deity of Christ meaning that he, what he said, what he claimed, it all turned out to be the truth. Now, that is not just something that I'm saying. There are many resources outside there on the claims for the deity of Christ. Dr. Gary Habermas, beautiful teaching on what Christ claimed and who he claimed to be as being the one who is risen, and how he was not some kind of fictitious imagery, but what he claimed was the truth. And in that, what he claimed, he actually lived, and people saw what he claimed, the deity of Christ. Deity of Christ meaning that Yeshua was the actual embodiment of who? Of God. He was God and he was man. Two natures, yet one person. No contradiction. Two natures. You have a divine nature and a human nature. And that is what we apprehend from Scripture. Homiletically, that is what we apprehend. But when we look at postmodernity and postmodern, what they do? They have deconstructionism. What is deconstructionism? Deconstructionism is what we call the relativistic way of of forming the new homiletics, meaning the reader interpret what the meaning is in the text. The reader interpret what the meaning is in the text and not what the author intend the text to mean. That is deconstructionism. Men like Richard Rowdy in Virginia University, this is what they are actually passing on to your students who you're spending all your money sending them to school and they come out and saying, first year in college, daughter come back home. Daddy, mommy, I'm a lazy. I'm a lazy, mommy. I just feel this way, mommy. I feel it's my professor. And the professor always right. Because they have their what? PhD. 2 and 3 degrees. But they have 100 degrees, right? From that whole. But they have 360 degrees within what? We call existence. But they only have some of them. I never met somebody yet with 10 degrees. Only the Masons. The Masons have up to how much? 33 degrees. Okay? And you're a high Mason. That means you could walk. You could be like the, how do you call the Buddha? Forgot his name. Huh? Huh?
Enlightened?
Yeah, enlightened. Yes, the enlightened one. Right? You could be like a Buddha. You could actually go into the nirvana. Now, Christ, he claimed certain things and he didn't only claim it, but he lived it out. But if we don't know that, we are going to buy into what the philosophers, what our prof and the teachers in university. So now Christ, and he what? This happening what? In flesh, right? And we know the Gnostic of the day, they didn't believe that anything pure or good or holy could dwell in what? In flesh, because his flesh is what? Sinful, it's evil, it's wicked, it's dysfunctional. But Yeshua, he showed them. He became sin, yet without sin.